Imagine a world where death is no longer the final chapter of the human story. A world where memories never fade, identities never dissolve, and the mind, your mind, could live forever, suspended in digital eternity. Tonight, we step into that world. Not science fiction, not fantasy, but a future being shaped quietly inside real laboratories, by real scientists, with real experiments. Experiments aimed at one impossible question: can we upload a human mind? For centuries, humans feared one thing more than anything else: ending. The final breath, the final heartbeat, the silence. But the brain, the strange universe inside our skulls, may hold a secret no generation before us has dared to unlock. A secret that connects biology with technology, memory with machine, and consciousness with code. The human mind. 86 billion neurons, trillions of electrical connections, storms of thoughts, emotions, dreams, all hidden inside a 3-pound organ that feels more like a mystery than a machine. And yet, scientists believe everything that makes you you, every fear, every memory, every love, every regret, is stored in patterns of connections. Patterns that can be mapped. Patterns that can be digitized. Patterns that, maybe one day, could be uploaded. But to understand how close we really are, we must travel into the heart of the most groundbreaking research in neuroscience. In a quiet lab in California, researchers have already created the first high-resolution brain scanners, capable of tracking individual neurons firing in real time. They can watch memories form, second by second, like constellations lighting up inside the skull. And deep inside the MIT Media Lab, scientists are creating tiny neural probes, thin as spider silk, that can enter the brain and record hundreds of thousands of signals at once. Not imagination, not prediction. This is happening now. But scanning the brain is only the first step. The real question is, can we understand the brain? Because the mind is not a simple machine. It is not a file. It is a living pattern of electrical storms. Memories are not stored in one place. They are woven like threads in a massive tapestry. And consciousness, the part of you that feels alive, the part that looks in the mirror and says, "This is me," remains the deepest unsolved riddle of science. Some researchers believe consciousness is the result of billions of neurons interacting in perfect harmony, like a cosmic orchestra. Others believe it is something more mysterious, something science hasn't yet learned how to measure. So before we upload a mind, we first have to answer what a mind truly is. But even with all these mysteries, something extraordinary has already happened. In 2024, scientists grew mini-human brains called organoids, tiny clusters of brain cells that can form memories and even respond to light. They connected one to a computer chip, and the brain organoid learned to play a video game, not by programming, but by thinking. A tiny brain, thinking inside a machine. This moment changed everything, because if brain cells can communicate with digital circuits, then the bridge between biology and technology is already being built, bit by bit, neuron by neuron. And that bridge could be the gateway to mind uploading. Now imagine the next step. Imagine a machine so powerful it can scan every neuron in your brain. Imagine it capturing the exact pattern of your memories, your childhood, your fears, your dreams, the sound of your mother's voice, and encoding it into digital form. Imagine waking up in a virtual world where your body is gone, but you still feel alive. Some scientists call it whole brain emulation. Others call it digital immortality. But the real question is, would that digital version be you? Or just a copy? If a perfect digital clone thinks like you, talks like you, remembers your life exactly, is it the same person? Or is the original you still trapped in your biological body, waiting to die? Nobody can answer this. Not yet. And yet millions of dollars are being poured into this research, because humanity has always had one hunger, one obsession, one desire, to become more than human. And so the race continues. Neuralink and other brain interface companies are teaching machines to read thoughts, word by word. British scientists have decoded brainwaves into full sentences. Japanese researchers recreated images directly from the human mind. Step by step, thought by thought, the brain is becoming readable. But uploading a mind isn't only about reading thoughts. It's about preserving the self. Some believe that the journey will not begin with whole minds, but with memory backup. A system that stores your memories, your knowledge, your emotions, like a digital diary written directly by your brain. A memory vault that never decays, never fades, never dies. And once memories can be digitized, the idea of transferring the entire pattern of the mind becomes less like a dream and more like a roadmap. Still, mind uploading carries a shadow, a deep one, because if you upload a mind, who owns it? If a company stores your consciousness, can it be copied, modified, hacked? What happens if someone steals you? And if digital minds become real, what happens to the meaning of life? If death disappears, does life lose its urgency? If we can live forever in a server, would we still understand what it means to be human? Mind uploading is not just a scientific challenge. It is an ethical earthquake, a spiritual storm, a philosophical frontier with no map. But every great leap in human history has begun in the same place: fear, doubt, and a dream too big for the world to understand. And here's the truth most people don't know. It may not take centuries, not even decades. Some scientists predict that the first, primitive form of mind, uploading, maybe memories, maybe personality traits, maybe emotional patterns, could begin within our lifetime. Not a full transfer of consciousness, not eternal life, but the first digital spark, the first step to a future where the boundary between mind and machine begins to dissolve. So tonight, as you hear these words, remember this. You are living in the only era in human history where the impossible is slowly becoming possible, where the human brain, once believed to be untouchable, is now being studied, mapped, decoded, and digitized. The question is no longer, can we upload a human mind? The real question, the frightening question, the beautiful question, is, what will humanity become when we finally can? And whether the answer arrives tomorrow, or in 100 years, one truth will remain. The human mind was never meant to stay trapped inside bone and blood. It was built to explore, to expand, to evolve. And somewhere in the silence between biology and technology, the next version of humanity is waiting to awaken. A future where the mind is no longer limited by the body. A future where consciousness becomes infinite. A future where you might live forever. In the end, the question is not about technology. It is about destiny. And destiny is coming.